Recently, the greatest Bethesda podcast to ever hit the internet started, featuring me, Lone Vault Wanderer, and Noah, one of you as well. Let's see what the community has to say about this. You could make this a live show. We have considered that, but unfortunately due to the fact that Lone Vault's in Australia, Noah's out west, I'm here on the East Coast, we're all scattered about with our own different plans for each day, and trying to organize a live show at the right time every week would be quite difficult. Also, we have a lot of good ideas up our sleeves, so working around recordings is a lot easier than doing a live show entirely. Trust us when we say we feel like we made the best choice making this a recording, but a live show is not out of the possibility for something else. Don't worry. The audio quality isn't that great, although I'm not sure what the direction of this podcast is supposed to be. How are you going to make daily Fallout 4 videos and have an hour-long discussion about it each week? I think you're overstretching yourself, Matt. Thank you for your concern. I really do appreciate it, and that is noteworthy. I do imagine that's what a few people thought. And so what I have to say to that is that I have a slew of information I cover each week for Fallout 4. There's always news to talk about. But then there's this rumor mill. There's always a spinning rumor mill for Fallout 4 that always has believable stuff in there, but it's all kind of speculation or it's kind of baseless. And I don't want to put that on my channel, but that is stuff that's perfect for the podcast. There's also news that I don't cover on my channel that is only specifically for the podcast to bring in more of you guys, to get you guys listening more often. So it's highly recommended that you do tune into these podcasts to get exclusive news bits and access to that stuff, but that's not saying that I'm not ever going to not speak about it outside of the podcast. But still, I do appreciate your concern, and moving forward now. Okay, 10 minutes in. Playing games on Congregate while listening. This is pretty bloody good. I would love to listen to more of these. Fantastic. This is the type of comment that we are looking for, okay? We love it when you guys are doing your thing and listening to our podcast. That's why we kind of made it a recorded thing rather than a live show, so you guys can game, do homework, read, I don't know. You guys can do something on a ride home or something. You can pop in your headphones and listen to this weekly Bethesda-based podcast. And we love seeing comments like these. One of the first comments we saw in the video was, yes, I have something to listen to on my trade ride home. It's like, perfect. That's exactly what we want from you guys. So stuff like this is just awesome to see. Why don't you show your faces? It would be more entertaining instead of listening to just audio. Well, since it's a podcast, it's kind of supposed to be just the audio. But anyways, also putting face cams in and stuff, that takes a lot of rendering time. And it's also one of those things where it's not entirely necessary because like I said in the previous bit, we like it when you guys just kind of listen while you're doing other things so that it encourages you to tune in but not sacrifice an hour of your day each week to you know, sit there and watch this computer screen. You can get other stuff done while accessing our content. That's kind of what we're going for here. But still, like I said, with the live show, putting our faces out there, not out of the realm of possibility at all. Also, I don't think Lone Vault has a webcam, so really just be me and Noah and whoever the fourth guest is, if they're comfortable being on a webcam. So that's one of those other things when we invite in new guests, who knows if they want to be on a webcam or not. But still, regardless of the fact, that's why we're messing around with a lot of things. So we'll see where it goes. You think 90% of people are even going to attempt to watch this whole video? You are wrong. Well, the point of a podcast is to really stay for the whole duration. So if you're tuning in for 10% of the podcast, I have no idea what you're doing. But anyways, I can understand that. Podcasts are long, and that's why, once again, we are reiterating the fact and just kind of beating it over the head. Do something else while you listen in so that you can get the full podcast. This also gives you access to a lot of features that you guys want to see my channel all in one thing. I do the Q&As, obviously the news roundups with very extended discussions. Seriously, like the discussion from the first week went on for like a half hour, which is something I never even thought I would be able to do. Now that stuff is cool. We have potential special guests coming in, stuff like that that would really hook you guys. So I hope that you guys watched the entire video. According to the analytics, we retained most of you guys for a big part of this podcast, which is very exciting. But anyways, I don't think I'm wrong, but whatever Johnny Little says, right? Not a bad first podcast other than Lone Vault's mic, but I would have gameplay on in the background, preferably a Bethesda game. Thank you once again for your feedback, but here's the thing, William. Render times. If you're a YouTuber, you know what I'm talking about. These things are fucking nuts. And even just an audio file with a picture over it, ladies and gentlemen, the render was almost 2 hours for my video. In fact, it was 2.5 hours, but that's because I put it on 60 FPS by accident, because, you know, still frames look good in 60 FPS. But anyways, what we wanted to do was just leave it so that you can listen in and you don't have to watch the video. But the gameplay was something I personally considered, but I felt if there was one thing that would burn me out from Fallout, it's each week forcing myself to play an hour straight of Fallout, which really isn't an issue, but you know, you think about it when we're on episode 30 or whatever, that's another 30 hours I put into Fallout forcibly, not because I chose I wanted to play that. So that's kind of why we went with the picture, and we kind of created our own 8-bit figures and stuff and set our own hashtag up on screen and everything. So it's all there. Anytime you click on the video, you see that there. One thing I am personally considering down the line, when I have a little more time to edit these out and sit there and listen to them, is to kind of do what I do with my normal videos, is kind of throw up pictures and examples of what I'm speaking about during the podcast. But I go totally gung-ho with that stuff, and I feel like I'd be there forever, just adding little pictures here and there just to kind of keep you guys engaged and watching. But like I said, we like you to listen to this. But that is all for this week. I wanted to kind of cover this, kind of get the feedback from the community and speak to you guys a little bit about this. We're really excited for the future of this podcast. I don't want to say any of our plans yet because nothing's really set in stone, but ladies and gentlemen, this podcast really does have a future. Our first episode is nearing 20,000 listeners, which is just like, that is a dream come true. We thought it would be like 5,000 or something like that because, you know, not many people tune into an hour-long video, but we are just truly honored from your support, and we hope you keep tuning in every week. Like I said, lots of special plans coming, and if you're looking for your weekly Fallout discussions along with everything Bethesda, then this is the place to go. A lot of people were concerned that I, like in the second comment I think it was, that I'm overstretching myself a bit with Fallout 4, but even if Fallout 4 doesn't happen, Bethesda is clearly, due to the fact that they're having an E3 conference, spreading out their publishing arms. There's clearly going to be a bunch of Bethesda published games, so we're going to have a lot to talk about in the future that just isn't only Fallout related. And that's the point of this podcast, is to get not just your Fallout news, but your Bethesda news. Everything Bethesda published, developed. Get what I'm saying there? That's kind of the point of this podcast. We want to be your hub for Bethesda information. So we hope you guys are looking forward to the future of this podcast. We really are. We are so hyped. Like, I can't wait to re-record this coming week's podcast. It's going to be so awesome, and I hope you guys tune in. Other than that, thank you for your feedback. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.